Welcome to a year we once thought was a lifetime away. It is 2026, and the world is finally breathing again as the seven legends who redefined global pop culture have officially reunited. But while the stage lights are blinding and the fan chants are louder than ever, there is a silent, staggering transformation that happened behind the barracks and the studio doors. We are witnessing the birth of a financial empire. From 2022 to 2025, while the world waited, these seven brothers weren't just serving their country, they were building legacies that have now culminated in some of the most eye-watering bank accounts in entertainment history. We're talking about high-stakes real estate in the heart of Seoul, secret art collections worth more than small islands, and fashion ambassadorships that have turned Paris into their personal playground. Today, we peel back the curtain on their luxury lives and the strategic genius that led them here. Who managed to out-earn the rest during the hiatus? Who finally hit that mythical $50 million milestone that has the industry in a total shock? Is it the leader who guided them through the fire, or the golden youngest who took the world by storm solo? Get ready, because the numbers we are about to reveal aren't just figures, they are the results of blood, sweat, and a decade of breaking every rule in the book. This is the definitive ranking of the top 7 richest BTS members in 2026. Are you ready to see who sits on the throne of this billion-dollar comeback? Let's begin. Number 7. Park Jimin. The Dior darling, the record breaker. When we talk about the power of the Jimin effect, we aren't just talking about social media trends or sold-out hoodies. We are talking about a financial phenomenon that has reshaped the luxury market in 2026. Starting off our list at number 7 is the man whose voice feels like a warm embrace but whose bank account is as cold and solid as the diamonds he represents, Park Jimin. By 2026, Jimin has solidified himself not just as a global pop icon, but as a high-fashion mogul whose influence is worth its weight in gold. His journey to this spot is a masterclass in strategic solo branding that began back in 2023 with his debut solo album, Face. That era wasn't just a musical breakthrough, it was a financial catalyst. When Like Crazy hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, Jimin became the first South Korean solo artist to achieve such a feat, sending his market value into the stratosphere. Since then, the momentum hasn't stopped, even during his period of military service, which concluded in late 2025. While he was away, his second solo project, Muse, continued to rake in massive streaming royalties, proving that the world was hungry for his artistry even when he wasn't on stage. But the real heavy hitters in Jimin's $45 million to $50 million net worth portfolio are his legendary brand partnerships. As the global ambassador for Dior and Tiffany & Co., Jimin isn't just a face on a billboard, he is a revenue engine. Industry insiders suggest that his partnership with Dior alone brought in a staggering double-digit million-dollar deal, as his presence at Paris Fashion Week historically generated the highest media impact value ever recorded for the brand. Every time Jimin wears a piece of jewelry or a tailored suit, the Jimin effect causes an immediate sellout globally. And in 2026, his contract renewals have reached record-breaking figures. Beyond the glitz of fashion, Jimin has been incredibly smart with his wealth, following the lead of his fellow members into the world of elite South Korean real estate. He reportedly owns a magnificent unit in the prestigious 9-1 Hanam complex, often called the Beverly Hills of Seoul, which he purchased for approximately $5.9 million in cash. In 2026, the value of this property has appreciated significantly, contributing to a massive chunk of his non-liquid assets. But what really pulls at the heartstrings is how Jimin uses this wealth. Reflecting on his journey from a young boy in Busan who struggled with self-doubt to a man who can now fund entire educational programs, Jimin has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Busan Department of Education and various Rotary clubs. His wealth is a reflection of his discipline, the same discipline that saw him practicing dance moves until his bones ached. As BTS reunites for their massive 2026 world tour, Jimin's share of the touring revenue, combined with his astronomical solo royalties and fashion contracts, puts him in a position of power that few entertainers in history have ever reached. He is the Prince of Busan, turned King of Global Influence. And while he sits at number 7 today, the gap between these members is razor thin. Seeing him back on stage in 2026, draped in custom designer gear that he likely helped design, reminds us that his path wasn't just about the money. It was about proving that a small-town boy could own the world's most expensive stages. His financial status is a testament to the filter he applies to his life: perfection, elegance, and an unbreakable bond with his fans. As we look at his $48 million estimated net worth, one can't help but feel emotional, knowing the sacrifices he made to get here. He didn't just inherit this, he earned every cent through tears, sweat, and a vocal range that defies gravity. But if Jimin is only at number 7, can you even begin to imagine the numbers the rest of the group is pulling in? The 2026 financial landscape of BTS is more than just a success story. It's a global takeover that is only just beginning to reveal its true scale. The Jimin effect is real, it's expensive, and it's officially legendary. Number 6. Kim Seokjin, the visual king, the real estate mastermind. Stepping into the number 6 spot is the man who paved the way for the group's return, the one who bore the weight of being the first to step into the unknown of military service and the first to emerge back into the spotlight, the worldwide handsome himself, Kim Seokjin. By 2026, Jin's financial trajectory has taken a turn that many financial analysts find absolutely fascinating because it isn't just built on music, it's built on a foundation of incredibly savvy, long-term investments that began long before the hiatus. While the world was mourning his departure in late 2022, Jin was already positioning himself as a titan of the South Korean luxury market. His estimated net worth in 2026 has officially crossed the $52 million mark, a staggering achievement for someone who spent nearly 2 years away from active commercial promotions. The secret to Jin's wealth lies in his first-mover advantage. Since he was discharged in June 2024, he had a massive head start in the solo market compared to the rest of the group. His debut solo album, Happy, released after his service, was a commercial juggernaut, tapping into a global audience that had been starving for his silver voice. The royalties from The Astronaut, his collaboration with Coldplay, continue to pour in, but in 2026, Jin's income has diversified in ways that define the edutainment business model. We are talking about the Jin Premium. His face is no longer just a K-pop idol's face, it is a blue-chip asset. In 2025 and 2026, Jin secured legendary contracts as the global ambassador for the Italian luxury house Gucci and the French high jewelry brand Fred. Industry reports suggest these aren't just your standard endorsement deals. They are multi-year, multi-million-dollar partnerships that include profit sharing from specific product lines. When Jin wears a Fred necklace or a Gucci-tailored suit, the sold-out king title isn't an exaggeration, it's a data point. But let's look at the real heavy artillery in his portfolio: real estate. Jin is widely regarded as the most successful real estate investor among the members. He famously owns multiple units in the legendary Hanam the Hill, which remains one of the most expensive residential complexes in South Korea. In late 2025, Jin made headlines again by purchasing a third strategic unit in this complex for approximately $12.5 million in cold, hard cash. By 2026, the appreciation of these properties alone has added nearly $15 million to his net worth. He doesn't just buy houses, he buys history and exclusivity. Beyond the bricks and mortar, Jin is a co-owner of a successful Japanese-style restaurant, Otsu Saramushi, which he opened with his brother. In 2026, this business has expanded into a boutique franchise, providing him with a steady stream of passive income that most idols could only dream of. Then there are his HYBE shares. As one of the original stakeholders who received shares from Bang Si-hyuk, Jin's equity has skyrocketed as HYBE transformed into a global multi-label powerhouse by 2026. Every time a new group under the label succeeds, Jin's bank account grows. But the atmosphere surrounding Jin's wealth isn't just about the numbers. It's about the quiet, dignified way he has built his empire. There is a sense of old money elegance to his lifestyle. He is often spotted driving his Lamborghini Aventador S or his Porsche Panamera, yet he remains the same humble man who enjoys fishing and playing video games. This contrast is what makes him so relatable, yet aspirational. In 2026, as he prepares for the group's 79-date world tour, his per-show earnings are projected to be the highest they have ever been, thanks to a restructured contract that reflects his status as a veteran legend. Reflecting on his journey, we see a man who was once told he was just a visual, now standing as a financial pillar of the industry. He has turned his worldwide handsome nickname into a worldwide financial reality. His wealth is a reflection of his patience, the patience to be the first to serve, the patience to wait for the right investments, and the patience to stay true to himself. The $52 million isn't just a number, it's the price of a legacy built on being the reliable eldest brother who ensured that when the rest of the members returned, they had a blueprint for success. As we move up this list, the numbers start to get even more surreal. But Jin's position at number 6 is a testament to the fact that in the world of BTS, even the lowest spots on the list are higher than the peaks of most global superstars. He's the anchor, the mogul, and the man who proved that you can be happy and incredibly rich at the same time. But if the man who owns a chunk of Hanam the Hill is only at number 6, who on earth is taking the number 5 spot? The mystery only deepens as we realize that the biggest earners in the group haven't even been mentioned yet. Are you prepared for the financial power of the next member? Number 5, Min Yoongi, the silent architect, the multi-million-dollar producer. Entering the countdown at number 5 is the man who turned burning it all down into a multi-million-dollar business strategy, the one and only Min Yoongi, also known as the legendary Auguste D. By 2026, Yoongi has officially transitioned from a global idol to a high-level entertainment mogul and real estate tycoon, with an estimated net worth that has surged to a staggering $58 million. While other members might be more visible in the front rows of every fashion week, Yoongi has spent the last few years quietly building an empire of passive income and high-value assets that make him one of the most financially secure artists in the world. To understand Yoongi's wealth in 2026, we have to look back at the historic milestone he set in 2023 with his D-Day World Tour. This wasn't just a series of concerts, it was a financial masterclass. As the first member of BTS to embark on a solo world tour, Yoongi grossed an eye-watering $57.2 million from just 28 shows, selling out arenas from New York to Jakarta. This tour proved that his solo brand alone could rival the power of major Western artists, and the royalties from the accompanying D-Day movie and live recordings have continued to flood his accounts long after the final curtain call. But the true genius of Min Yoongi's financial portfolio lies in his production credits. In 2026, his catalog with the Korea Music Copyright Association, KOMCA, has grown to over 160 songs. Every time a BTS track is played, every time his solo work is streamed, and every time the massive hits he produced for icons like IU, PSY, or Halsey are broadcast globally, Yoongi earns. This is mailbox money, at its finest a stream of income that never stops, even while he was serving his country as a social service agent. Financial experts often point to Yoongi as the member with the most recession-proof wealth because his earnings are so deeply tied to the intellectual property of the music itself. However, his 2026 wealth isn't just about the music. Yoongi has made some of the most sophisticated real estate moves in the group. Beyond his $3 million luxury apartment in the elite UN village, the Beverly Hills of Seoul, where he neighbors the country's top billionaires, there is a new jewel in his crown. In late 2025, reports emerged of a massive 17.3 billion KRW, approximately $13 million, building in the heart of Hanam-dong, owned by his family's corporation, Nagium. This 6-story architectural marvel, which includes high-end commercial spaces and a restaurant operated by his brother, marks Yoongi's graduation into the world of major property development. It's a full-circle moment for a man who famously worked as a delivery boy in Daegu to make ends meet, suffering a life-altering shoulder injury just to stay afloat. That emotional weight is what makes his 2026 status so profound. When you see him at an NBA game where he serves as a global ambassador, a deal worth millions that bridges the gap between sports and luxury lifestyle, you aren't just seeing a celebrity, you are seeing the result of a decade of grueling labor. His partnership with the Italian luxury house Valentino as a DVA ambassador has also evolved in 2026, with renewal contracts reflecting his status as a legacy icon rather than just a trending face. Yoongi's wealth is characterized by its stability and strategic depth. He doesn't just spend. He invests in art, in his family's future, and in the technical infrastructure of his own music production. As he returns to the group for the 2026 World Tour, his personal stake in HYBE as a significant shareholder has also appreciated significantly, with the company's stock rebounding to all-time highs upon the news of their reunion. This puts Yoongi in a position where his net worth is growing by the minute, even when he's just sitting in his studio, Genius Lab, working on the next world, dominating track. Looking at his $58 million fortune, there is a sense of quiet triumph. It is the wealth of a man who was once told his dreams were impossible, a man who once chose between a bus ticket and a bowl of noodles. Now, in 2026, he owns the buildings, he owns the music, and he owns his destiny. His position at number 5 might surprise some who expected him to be higher, but the competition within BTS is unlike anything the industry has ever seen. As we move closer to the top spot, the numbers are about to become even more surreal, leaving us to wonder, if the silent architect is at number 5, what kind of astronomical wealth are the top 4 members hiding? Stay tuned, because the next member on our list has turned his personal passion into a multi-million-dollar art and design empire that has changed the definition of a K-pop lifestyle forever. Number 4. Kim Namjoon, RM. The intellectual powerhouse, the billion-won curator. Sitting firmly at the number 4 spot is the philosopher king of global pop, the man whose brain is arguably his most valuable asset, but whose bank account in 2026 is finally reflecting the true scale of his genius. Kim Namjoon, better known to the world as RM. As we move into this tier of wealth, we are no longer just talking about pop star money. We are talking about the kind of diversified, intellectual wealth that most artists can only dream of. By 2026, RM's estimated net worth has climbed to a staggering $63 million, and what makes his fortune so fascinating is that it isn't just built on catchy hooks, it is built on the very foundation of the music industry itself. You see, while other members were focusing on high-energy performances, RM was quietly becoming the most prolific songwriter of his generation. As of early 2026, he has officially surpassed 230 song credits on the Korea Music Copyright Association, KOMCA, making him the youngest and most credited artist in the history of the platform. This means that every single time a BTS song is played anywhere in the world, from a cafe in Paris to a stadium in Los Angeles, Namjoon receives a royalty check. This passive income is the engine of his wealth, providing a multi-million-dollar floor that never stops growing. But in 2026, the story of RM's wealth is also the story of RM the curator. Over the past few years, his passion for contemporary art has transitioned from a personal hobby into a high-value investment portfolio that art critics in Seoul and New York now watch with bated breath. His collection is legendary, reportedly housing masterpieces like Roni Horn's translucent glass cylinder valued at over $1.2 million, and rare works by Korean masters like Lee Daewon and Yoon Hyung-kyun. In 2025, during his military service, the value of the K-art market skyrocketed, largely driven by the RM effect, meaning his personal collection has likely doubled or tripled in value, contributing tens of millions to his non-liquid net worth. This is smart wealth, assets that appreciate while he sleeps. Then, let's talk about his real estate moves. In 2021, he purchased a unit in the ultra-luxurious 9-1 Hanam for approximately $5.7 million in full cash. Fast forward to 2026, and that same property is valued at nearly $16 million. He didn't just buy a home, he bought a blue-chip asset in the most competitive real estate market in Asia. On the branding front, RM has been incredibly selective, choosing partnerships that align with his sophisticated intellectual persona. His role as the first-ever global ambassador for Bottega Veneta wasn't just a fashion deal, it was a cultural statement. In 2026, his contract renewal with the house is rumored to be among the highest for any male celebrity globally, reflecting his status as a style philosopher. We also cannot forget the massive success of his solo discography. His 2024 album Right Place, Wrong Person was a critical and commercial triumph that continued to sell and stream heavily throughout 2025, even while he was in uniform. But the emotional core of RM's wealth in 2026 comes from his role as a national asset. In late 2025, he was invited to speak at the APEC CEO Summit about the economic impact of K-pop, a testament to his status as a global leader who happens to be a musician. When we reflect on his journey from the underground rapper Runch Randa, who was criticized for his looks and his style, to the man who now stands as a $63 million titan of culture, it's enough to bring tears to your eyes. He is the man who carried the weight of being the group's spokesperson for a decade, translating their dreams into words for the world to understand. Now, in 2026, as the group prepares for their Arirang comeback, Namjoon's financial position is a reflection of that leadership. He owns his masters, he owns his words, and he owns a significant stake in HYBE, which has reached a multi-billion-dollar valuation this year. He is the architect of BTS, and his $63 million fortune is the monument to a decade of sleepless nights and artistic integrity. Watching him walk through an art gallery in 2026, looking at a painting that costs more than most people's houses, you realize he isn't just rich, he is influential in a way that transcends money. He has used his wealth to donate hundreds of millions of won to museums and hospitals, proving that for Namjoon, the billion-won status is just a tool to preserve beauty in the world. But if the group's leader and top songwriter is at number 4, who could possibly be leading the top 3? We are entering the territory of the global icons, the members who have turned their solo brands into billion-dollar revenue-generating machines. Are you ready to see who broke the top 3 and truly redefined what it means to be a superstar in 2026? Number 3. Jungkook. J-Hope. The Golden Legend. The Louis Vuitton Visionary. Breaking into the top 3 is the man who literally radiates sunshine, but whose business acumen is as sharp as a diamond-cut blade. Jungkook, our eternal hope, J-Hope. By 2026, the financial landscape for J-Hope has shifted into a realm that most people only see in movies about Wall Street titans, with an estimated net worth that has skyrocketed to an incredible $72 million. If you're wondering how the dancing king from Gwangju managed to outpace almost everyone else, the answer lies in a combination of perfect timing, early mover advantage, and a real estate portfolio. That is the envy of South Korea's elite. You see, while the world was adjusting to the group's hiatus in late 2022, J-Hope was already setting the blueprint for solo success with Jack in the Box. That wasn't just an album, it was a declaration of independence that solidified his brand as a serious, conceptual artist capable of headlining Lollapalooza and drawing hundreds of thousands of fans on his own. But the real money move happened in October 2024. As the second member to be discharged from the military, J-Hope entered a 2025 market that was absolutely starved for BTS content. He hit the ground running with his Hope on the Street documentary series and soundtrack, which wasn't just a passion project, it was a global licensing goldmine. Streaming platforms like Disney Plus and Netflix reportedly engaged in a bidding war for his content, leading to a payout that added a significant 8-figure sum to his wealth before he even stepped back onto a concert stage. But let's talk about the LV factor. In 2026, J-Hope's partnership with Louis Vuitton has transcended a simple ambassadorship. He has become the face of the brand's street luxe evolution. His contract renewal in early 2026 is rumored to be the largest individual fashion deal in the history of K-pop, placing him in the same earnings bracket as Hollywood's A-list elite. Every time Hobie posts a fit check on his Instagram, which now boasts over 55 million followers, the media impact value MIV generated is enough to fund a small village. And then there is the legendary trimmage factor. J-Hope was one of the first idols to recognize the value of the Seoul Forest Trimmage Complex, purchasing his first unit there years ago for around $1.2 million. By 2026, that property has appreciated by over 500%, and combined with his additional luxury holdings in Hanam-dong, his real estate equity alone is worth more than most idols' entire career earnings. This is the Hobie magic, the ability to look like he's just having fun while actually building a multi-generational empire. When you see him dancing in the streets of Osaka or Paris for his documentary, you're looking at a man who owns his masters, owns his image, and owns a significant portion of the very ground he stands on. There is a deep emotional resonance to his wealth in 2026. We remember the young boy who used to practice popping and locking in a dusty studio in Gwangju, the boy who worried if he'd ever be enough for the group. Now, he is a $72 million powerhouse who uses his wealth to support dance academies for underprivileged youth and funding animal shelters across Korea. His wealth isn't just about the numbers, it's about the freedom to be exactly who he is, the hope of a generation. As the 2026 World Tour kicks off, J-Hope's individual merchandise sales are projected to break records, further cementing his status as a retail juggernaut. He has successfully transitioned from being a member of a group to being a global luxury brand himself. His position at number 3 is a testament to the fact that sunshine isn't just an emotion in J-Hope's hands, it's a currency. He has built a legacy that is both emotionally rich and financially unstoppable. But as we stand here looking at J-Hope's $72 million empire, a chilling question remains. If the man who owns the luxury fashion world and the most expensive real estate in Seoul is only at number 3, who could possibly be left? We are now entering the territory of the top 2, the 2 members who have transformed from superstars into absolute cultural deities. One of them has captured the heart of the luxury world like no other, while the other has become the golden boy of the entire music industry. The gap between number 3 and number 2 is wider than you think. Are you ready to see who finally broke the $80 million ceiling and left the entire world in tears of shock? Number 2, Kim Tae-young. 5. The Celine King, the Han River visionary. As we reach the penultimate spot on our countdown, the atmosphere shifts from the high-energy pulse of a dance studio to the silent, golden-hued elegance of a high-end art gallery overlooking the Han River. We are talking about the man who was once BTS's secret weapon, the member hidden from the world until the very last moment, who has now become the world's most sought-after luxury icon, Kim Tae-young, famously known as V. In 2026, Tae-young's financial story is one for the history books, with an estimated net worth that has exploded to a jaw-dropping $88 million. This isn't just idle wealth. This is the wealth of a cultural deity who has successfully turned his unique, soulful aesthetic into a global multi-billion-dollar economy. To understand how Tae-young reached this astronomical figure, we have to look at the V factor in the world of high fashion. By 2026, his partnerships with Celine and Cartier have become legendary case studies in marketing. When Tae-young was first announced as a Celine boy, the brand saw an unprecedented 513% increase in sales in South Korea alone. His presence at Paris Fashion Week caused such a frenzy that police had to shut down streets, a phenomenon that fashion houses now call the Tae-young riot. Industry reports in 2026 suggest that his contract renewal with Celine was valued at a record-breaking $20 million per year, reflecting his status as the brand's most influential global asset. But it doesn't stop at clothing. His partnership with Cartier as the face of the Panthère de Cartier line saw $26,000 necklaces selling out in minutes globally, simply because he wore them on a magazine cover. This Midas touch has extended to every facet of his commercial life, from his record-breaking deal with Compose Coffee, which added $500 million pesos to the Jollibee Group's earnings, to his work with the luxury resort Paradise City and the Indonesian investment firm Siminvest. But Tae-young isn't just a face for hire, he is a master of the long game. His solo album Layover, released in 2023, continues to be a streaming giant in 2026, particularly in the jazz and R&B sectors, providing him with a sophisticated stream of royalties that appeals to a demographic far beyond the traditional K-pop fanbase. However, the real headline grabber that solidified his position at number 2 was his 2025 real estate acquisition. In September 2025, just months after being discharged from his elite service in the Special Duty Team, SDT, Tae-young purchased a luxury unit at the Penthouse Cheongdam, PH 129, for a staggering $12.6 million, and he paid the entire amount in cold, hard cash. This property, known for its 6.6-meter high ceilings and panoramic views of the Han River, is the ultimate symbol of his king status. By 2026, the value of this penthouse has already appreciated by nearly $3 million, adding to a property portfolio that also includes his previous multi-million-dollar luxury apartment in Samseongdong. There is an emotional weight to this wealth that brings tears to the eyes of those who have followed him since 2013. We are talking about the grandson of a farmer from Daegu, a boy who thought he would grow up to be a farmer himself, who now owns the most exclusive real estate in the most expensive city in Asia. His time in the military's elite special forces, SDT, only added to his it factor, transforming his image from a flower boy into a masculine, powerful figure that brands in 2026 are desperate to associate with. Every move he makes is calculated, yet feels effortless. Whether he's posting a photo of his beloved dog Yeontan or sharing a snippet of a new jazz track, the engagement he generates is worth millions in media impact value. In 2026, Tae-young has also become a silent but significant shareholder in several tech and fashion startups, diversifying his wealth in a way that ensures he will be a billionaire-level mogul by the time he hits his 30 seconds. As the group prepares for the 2026 Arirang World Tour, Taehyung's individual earnings per show are projected to be at an all-time high, especially as he is expected to have a heavy hand in the tour's visual and artistic direction. Reflecting on his journey, there is a sense of poetic justice in his $88 million fortune. He was the hidden member who many thought would be overlooked, but in 2026 he is the one the world cannot look away from. He has used his wealth to build a life of quiet, artistic solitude, surrounding himself with priceless art and classical music, yet he remains the same warm-hearted Tay-Tay who cares deeply for his family and his members. His wealth is a reflection of his soul, deep, complex, and incredibly rare. But even with $88 million and a penthouse that touches the clouds, Taehyung is not the richest member of BTS. If the Celine King is at number 2, who on earth could be at number 1? We are about to reveal the golden empire of the member who has officially broken the final barrier of the music industry. Are you ready for the shocking final reveal of the richest BTS member in 2026? The number is so high it has left financial experts and fans alike in a state of total disbelief. Number 1. Jungkook. The global pop titan, the billion-stream king. Finally, we have reached the summit, the throne that everyone has been whispering about since the very beginning of this countdown. In 2026, the man standing at the absolute peak of the financial mountain is none other than the golden maknae himself, the global phenomenon who has redefined what it means to be a 21st century pop star, Jungkook. As we reveal his staggering estimated net worth of over $95 million, reaching nearly the mythical $100 million mark, it's impossible not to feel a rush of pure emotion and awe. How did the youngest member, the boy who arrived in Seoul at just 15 years old with nothing but a dream and a heart full of fear, become the richest member of the world's biggest group by 2026? The answer is a whirlwind of historic solo success, unparalleled brand power, and a real estate portfolio that is as bold as his stage presence. The catalyst for this massive wealth gap began in 2023, a year that will forever be known as the Year of Jungkook. His solo debut with Seven didn't just break records, it shattered the very ceiling of the global music industry. By becoming the fastest artist in history to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify, Jungkook wasn't just earning fame, Dior was earning a level of streaming royalties that most artists only see over a lifetime. Following that with his debut solo album Golden, which sold millions of copies worldwide and dominated the Billboard 200, he secured his status as a solo juggernaut. In 2026, those royalties have compounded into a massive stream of passive income that continues to flow, even while he was away serving his country. But let's look at the Calvin Klein factor. When Jungkook was announced as the global ambassador for Calvin Klein, the world stopped. His campaigns didn't just trend, they caused the brand's market value to skyrocket and their stock to hit unprecedented highs. In 2026, his contract with the fashion giant has evolved into a multi-year partnership worth tens of millions, making him one of the highest-paid male models in the history of the industry. Every time he appears in a billboard from New York to Tokyo, the Jungkook effect triggers a global retail frenzy that translates directly into his bank account. And then there is the real estate. Jungkook is famously the owner of a massive property in the prestigious Itaewon district, one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Seoul. In 2023, he began constructing a literal mega mansion on the site, a 5-story architectural masterpiece that includes 3 underground levels and 2 above-ground floors. By 2026, this property alone, with its custom recording studio, private gym, and high-tech security, is valued at over $15 million, serving as a massive cornerstone of his wealth. Beyond his physical assets, Jungkook's stake in HYBE has reached a valuation that is simply mind-blowing. As the youngest shareholder with such a massive solo influence, his equity has benefited from the company's expansion into the US and European markets. But the emotional core of this story is what truly triggers the tears. We remember the boy who used to hide in the bathroom because he was too shy to sing in front of his members. We remember the boy who worked so hard he would collapse backstage. In 2026, seeing him as a $95 million titan isn't just about the money, it's about the ultimate victory of a young man who gave his entire youth to his craft and his fans. His wealth allows him to live a life of total freedom, yet he remains the same humble artist who loves nothing more than a simple meal and a song to sing. As BTS embarks on their 2026 reunion tour, Jungkook's individual revenue from touring, combined with his astronomical solo brand deals and his historic music catalog, puts him in a league of his own. He is no longer just the youngest member, he is the Golden Empire. His journey from a trainee with no ambition to the richest idol in the world is the most inspiring story of our time. He has proven that with enough passion, the world doesn't just watch you, it rewards you beyond your wildest dreams. As we close this list, Jungkook stands as a testament to the power of BTS. 7 brothers who started from the bottom and now own the world, with their youngest leading the charge into a multi-million-dollar future that is as bright as his own legendary smile.